Welcome back, guys. My name is Austin from awfulmedia.com, and this is part 11 of the Making a Simple Game in Unity tutorial series. Now, in this part, we're going to be working in Blender for a few minutes, making a simple padlock. Then we're going to bring that padlock into Unity and make that padlock visualize or display our locked levels in our level select overworld. Now, what I mean by that is each node, we're going to be checking to see the highest completed level the player has. If the player has not unlocked a particular level, we will show a three-dimensional object that would represent a padlock. Hopefully it kind of looks like one when we get finished. In front of that level node, showing, hey, you've not completed this level yet, do the one before it to unlock it, and you'll progress on. And that's really all there is to it. And after that, the system would be pretty much done. So the first thing I want to do is actually go into Blender. I'm going to open that up. Just a disclaimer, this is not a Blender tutorial. I do not claim to be good at Blender. I just know how to make what I'm going to make now, and then that's that. I am not saying what I am doing is the correct way or the best way to do it, but it will work for what we're doing. It is what I consider programmer art. First thing I want to do is I want to hit N to open up this panel over here, and I want to set the scale on the X to 0.5. That's about what we want, I guess, yeah. Now I want to hit Tab, and this will bring us into edit mode. We were in object mode, now we're in edit mode. And what I want to do is on this top face here, if I select the face select tool, I can select the top face, and I want to split this top face into two faces. That way we can inset each face and then create like a hole in each one here. That way we can have our loop coming out of it, and it would look kind of cool. But currently we have our scale set to 0.5. So if I was to inset this now, as you can see, an issue here is that this is wider, thicker than this is. That's because on the X it is scaled to 0.5, as is this right here, and that is scaled to 0.5 of that. So what we can do to fix that is I'll go in object mode here, and I'm hitting tab to switch between edit and object mode. I'll hit Control A, then I'm going to apply the scale. Now the scale is 1, 1, 1, setting the default scale for this one to 2, 2, and 1, and that's what we want. Now hit tab, now inset, and we get just what we want. Now, I want to split this top face into two faces. I'm going to do that with hitting Control R. And that will give us this right here. I can place it over here, or if that was a different angle, I could do it the other way around. There we go. And when I do that, I'm going to click once. And now I can move it where I want it to be. But I want it to be in the center, so I'm going to right click. And that's going to put it right back to the center. Now you can just click twice without going into that move stage there, and it will just center it into the center of the whichever way it's going. And that's what we want. So now I'm going to go back to the face select, and I'm going to select this face and this face. Now I want to inset these faces. Before, remember this, we did inset like that, and that's not right. We wanted to inset based on the face and not based on the faces together. So we hit I again, and then we'll inset based per face. And that's what we want. Now I'm going to click that. And now we have these two individual faces here. Now I can take that and I can hit I once and then hit enter. And now that inset these faces, but it didn't actually do anything with them. So what I can do is grab this now and bring it down. And that gives us that indentation in the top. We did that before with the spikes, so nothing new there, but that's exactly what we're going to be doing for this as well. Again, it's just programmer art. It is not pretty. Now what I want to do is I want to set we're going to have that loop, going over the locking part of the lock. So I want to set the start of that. It's actually going to be a cube. It's going to be a square loop, but we're going to set the start of that to be the center of this face, and then we're going to mirror it on this object and then join them in the middle. So the way I would do that is I am going to select this face. I want to hit space. Now with space, you can search for different functions, right? So say you don't know a shortcode or a shortcut key for a specific thing, you can search what you think it'd be called, and see if you get what you want. Now, I want to search for something to do with the 3D cursor. So I'm going to type in cursor, and I get all these options. And I see snap cursor to selected. And that's what I want to do. I want to snap the cursor to the center origin point of the selected face. Now, my 3D cursor is in the center of that polygon. So now I can create an object. If I go to add, I'll go into object mode so I don't add that to that object. I'll go to add mesh, and then I'll add a cube. Now notice the cube goes where that 3D cursor is. Now I'm going to hit S and sliding my cursor in there to scale that down. And now that cube is in the center of that face. And that's exactly what we wanted to do. But now I want to have whatever I do over here to happen on this side of the object as well. And we can do that with a mirror modifier. So I'm going to click this little button right here, which brings me to my modifier panel. So I'm going to go to add modifier, and there's a lot of them in here, but I don't want to add anything other than the mirror modifier. And this will allow us to mirror this across the Y here. So I'm going to select the Y. Now what this is going to do for us is I'm supposed to drag this out. You can see it is mirroring itself on its center point. But we want to mirror it on this object here, the actual body of the lock. So the way I can do that is here you see mirror object, you have this field here. I'll select this and then select the cube, of which it's called, I didn't give it a name yet, it's just called cube. And now it'll mirror that on this object instead of on itself. And that's exactly what we want. So I'm going to bring this back into center, so I'm going to go up there and hit 0. And now if I was, you notice how they do the same thing. It's a mirror. That's what a mirror does. So I'm going to bring this up a little bit. Now I want to hit E. This will extrude the face, and I'll do that again. And then I'm going to hit R. But when we hit R, we're going to rotate it, but it goes all crazy. We want to rotate it on a specific axis, and that axis is the X-axis. So now I can rotate it just like that. Then hit E again, extrude, and this is going to look really bad, but it's fine. Going to hit it like that, then I can rotate it again on the Y, or the X, sorry, not the Y. Then rotate it again. Just do that there. Rotate it like that on the X. Keep doing Y. I don't know why. I'm gonna bring them in together. But now I want to right click and undo that. I want to go here and turn on clipping. This will try to weld these together. So if I extrude these out, notice now it doesn't go through each other. They just kind of become one. I want to grab the edge selector and grab that edge right there and bring it out just a little bit. I want to go out here and grab this edge, bring it in just a little bit. Now with some kind of smoothing modifier on this and a bit more work, we can make it look better, but the way it's going to be now is it doesn't really matter. That gives us the rough base for our padlock. Now I actually want to go back into object mode, select this, and I want to scale it on the Z to about 1.5 and then bring this up a bit, something like that, and there's our padlock. Now, we're going to take this and put it into Blender. We're going to do the same, or put it into Unity, the same way we did with our spike trap. So I'm going to go to File, and I want to go to Save As. We're going to use the actual Blender file. I'm going to go to my Google Drive, wherever this is at here. And within Objects, I'm going to call this Lock. Okay? And then save as Blender file. Now both of those objects should be within Unity now. So if I go back into Unity and I go to my objects, now I have the lock right there. And it looks like it should. We're going to do the same thing this time as well. We're going to turn off the import normals and make Unity calculate the normals for us. And turn down the smoothing angle. Click apply. And that looks a bit better. Well, at least for this, it looks a bit better. The scaling factor is 1, so that's fine. We'll drag this out into the world, see what it looks like. And pull it up. It's a bit big. We might scale it down a bit. It's way too big. So the scaling factor will be something more like 0.6. So if we were to apply that, there we go. I like that. So that's how we're going to represent a locked level. It's a bit weird, but I think we'll make it work. We'll do something with it. We'll not be placing it ourselves. We'll be placing it in code if a level does not where I'm just trying to see how it's going to look in the end. Yeah, if we make a material for it and make it like a silver or a gray color, not silver, but a gray color, it could look okay, maybe. We'll try and see. So I'll do a material for lock, make this one some gray color, attach that there and there. Now with this lighting setup, gray doesn't really look gray. So we may have to do something a bit different with that. Let's give it a, over in the blue, maybe we can make it look a bit gray with some blue. Yeah, I like that. That'll work for us. For me, at least. Maybe not for you. So I'm going to pull this out a bit and just get a bit better visualization of how this is going to look. We may actually bring the camera down a bit, and we'll make the camera follow the player. That's another thing we can do. To make it work pretty quickly, what I can do is just drag the main camera to the player, and now make the main camera a child of the player, and then center this on the player. Like that, and then we'll bring it out, go back into our scene view, bring it up and out. Then we can rotate it down a bit to get a better angle of this world. Then bring it back like that, and a bit farther out. Actually, we'll go like that. If I click play, now the camera follows the player, but now we need to actually do that in code instead of just doing it with an object. So what I'm going to do is get rid of this lock. We'll make it a, we'll drop it into the objects and then drop it into the prefabs folder. So now we'll use that in code to instantiate it into the world. Go to my scripts, go to level loader. Now we'll be changing a few things in our level loader. I want that one popped up twice forward. The first thing, I can see that we're going to be changing this to in range, because we're going to be checking a couple things. Just because we are within the trigger does not mean you can load that level. So I'm going to make that say, yeah, he's in range, and then do another check to see if you can actually load the level. So we're going to change that to in range, and then make in range be the boolean that we have set here. Bring that up. So now, on start, we're going to do something within the start here. So we're going to avoid start. Now I want to bring our actual game loop to be under start as it normally is, so it looks a bit less confusing. Now on start, I want to check to see if the node level, if this node's level to load is greater than or equal to the load or the level that we saved. I am not thinking properly, apparently. So we're going to do level to load is less than. We'll do less than. If the level to load is less than, yeah. So if we are less than or equal to the level to load, or the the level saved in the player pref file, then we will be able to load that level. So first thing I want to do is on start is set a private int called completed level, and then we're going to set completed level to be equal to player prefs. We're going to go into our player prefs file. So we're going to do get int, as our current level is an integer, and I believe it's level completed. I think that's the integer that we saved it as. So completed level is equal to that, and I will say if the level to load is less than or equal to completed level, then set can load is equal to true, and then we'll set this up here. It's a private bool can load level else. Now this is a bit this will be a good time to show you guys a single line if statement. And the way we can do this is I can say level to load is less than or equal to completed level. And now we're going to say if that is true, can load level is equal to true. what we need to do though is set this, say can load level is equal to that, and then say this right here. So now can load level is equal to, if this is true, true, if this is false, false. So what we're doing, let me explain this one more time. I am setting the variable for bool here, which is can load level, to be equal to whatever the result of this condition is. And the way we're checking the condition is I'm saying level to load is less than or equal to complete a level. So if that is true, what this is saying is if true, set it to this. Else, which means if it isn't true, set it to this. And this will keep all of this in a single line, so we don't have to go through all of this to do that. And it just looks a bit better, and we learned something new by doing that. So that's pretty good. So if you have any questions about that, as you may see this quite a bit in different things, so make sure to bring that up if you don't understand what's going on here. But I'm saying if this is true, then set it to this, else set it to this. Now it doesn't have to only be a Boolean. It could be any other kind of type. But as long as you have a condition for true, or a value for true, and a value for false. I'm not saying it has to be true or false, but you have a value for if that condition is true, and then you have a value for if that condition is false. So now I'm saying if can load level and input.get button down is action, and we want to check also to see if we're in range, obviously. So in range, on trigger state, yeah, so in range is true. When you leave, in range is false. What am I missing here? I feel like I'm missing something. So what I need to do now is on trigger stay, I'll say if can load level, then we'll say this. Say this. Else, we'll say level, space, whatever level that is, concatenate more onto the end of this, space, is locked. So level, whatever, is locked. So if this level is out of reach for our player, when he goes up to it, it'll say level is locked. You can't load this level. So what we need to do now is make sure we can instantiate the lock if this is false, if can load level is false. So I could do a check here. I can say if can load level, or if not can load level. We'll do if not can load level. Now we're going to do an instantiate. Instantiate is a way to create an instance of an object in the game world at a specific location with a specific rotation. I think we've done this before, actually. Oh, we did. We did it with the particle system that we had for the death. So now I'm going to set up a game object to instantiate into the world. It'll be a public, so we can access it in the inspector. Go public, game object, game object. Call this one padlock. So when instantiate padlock, we'll have to assign it to that here in a second. At the position of what? The position I want to instantiate it at will be a new vector 3, because we're going to be putting it at this node's transform position, but push it up on the X a bit. So I'll do a transform.position.x. So that'll get the X value for this vector and place it within this new vector for this instantiate. And then I'll do a transform.position.y, then a transform.position.z. Now you've been wondering, why did I do that instead of just saying make it equal this transform.position, as transform.position returns a vector, or a vector 3. So the reason I didn't do that is because I want to, first of all, on the y, I want to set this to be a 0 at first to test with, the up and down, right? On the x, however, I want to set it to be equal to the x plus 2. And we'll see what we get now. So if I go back into Unity, see what my errors are. I'm sure there's some. Oh, I did not apply a rotation. So I want to hit a comma there. And now it's looking for a quaternion for rotation. Now we did this before as well. We'll do a quaternion dot identity, which is equal to no rotation. So 0, 0, 0 for the rotation. Click play. And I did not assign it, actually, so we have to go to the nodes. Select both of these nodes. Go to the project, go to my objects, go to prefabs, select those again, actually, and drag this over to the padlock field. And now in the scene view, get rid of this padlock, as that padlock is no longer needed. Click play. Now I notice there's one there, but I didn't put one there, so that's the actual code doing that for us. So that is great. But why is it doing that? If I get close to it, it'll say level 2 is locked. So we cannot go to level 2, but level 1, or 0 for some reason. Let's go node here, see level 2. I'll set this to 1. No, I'll set this at 2. We'll do this one at 1. Level 1's probably locked too. It is, cool. So we'll have to set level 1 to always be unlocked to start with, or you can never actually play the game. So now there's 2 locks here. But say I could access level 1. How do we set that up to be default? What we can do is in our game manager, greater than or equal than, greater than or equal than, greater than or equal to. So what I'm saying is completed level is equal to level completed. So I'm setting it to 0. Then I'm saying if less than or equal to completed level, this would start out as 0, making that 0. So we will, yeah, we would have level 0, so that's correct. I was like, am I doing something wrong here? But no, it's right. So level to load, the first one would be 0, the second one would be 1, and then considering that I have, it defaults to 0, then that is correct. Now if I add another one here, I'll hit this node, Control D, drag this out here. Obviously you would be doing this a bit more, or a bit less careless, but I'm just throwing these out here anywhere I want them. Make that 2. So now we should have level 0, which you can access, as that is the first level. Level 1, which you cannot access. And level 2, which you cannot access. So now I'll go to level 0, hit E. Level 0, oh, I know what the problem is. We have no level 0 in here, but we're defaulting it to 0. So what we need to actually do is, and we may break something by doing this. I need to say 1, 1. So that should be fine. Then we'll set, we'll go in, we'll just go and clear this error. Now my scripts, or no, we'll go to the node here and set that to, we'll set this to 1 and then 2 and then 3. They're not in order, so we'll do, I don't know why they're so backwards. 1 and then that one's 3 and then this one is 2. So what we should have here is still the same result with all being locked, but whenever I was actually set that to default in that, it would work for us. So what we can do is in here is check to see in our actual level loader to see if level to load or if completed level is 0. Again, this might get a bit redundant if we keep doing this, but I'm just trying to equals 1. So if completed level is 0, we'll do it here. Completed level is equal to 0. Completed level equals 1. I don't like that, but that's going to work for us, I do believe. Oh, I need to do this before that. That would make more sense. Play. And now level 1 is unlocked again. We had to hack that a bit, and you may want to do that a bit better when you do this if you make this game. But the idea is still there. The purpose of this is still there. It's just instead of it being 0 from our game manager, now it's 1 in our world select. So they're two different systems. But I didn't really plan on the world select working this way when I started it, so I didn't really set it up to work that way. But we're there now, and we have this working. So if I would go to level 1, hit E, and I go ba-doo, ba-doo, and then I go ba-doo, ba-doo, and I beat this level. Click continue. Now I'm on level 2, which means in our player prefs, now that one should be unlocked. And it is. So if I was to go back to the world select, now I can go to level 2. If I beat level 2, I think I beat the game actually, so that wouldn't really help me to show you this, but yeah, we win. So that we have to set that up in our game manager as well. Set that to 3. Click play. Go back into here. E. Koopadoo. Continue. And now, what we actually did was go to level 3. It's correct. Now, if I was to stop this and click play, level 3 should be unlocked. And it is. So that's working. You may have to do a few tweaks to make it work how you want to. But for me, I would call that a success. I feel that way, at least. So I think that's it for this tutorial. Now, this game is nowhere near complete, so don't think about that. But what do we do next time? We have to polish it up, make a few levels. I don't know what I said we would do. We will probably do a bit more to the world select. You know, make it a bit more, I don't know, complete. The system is there, but I have to actually set it up to work with the game. So whenever you click new game, it should take you here and reset your current progress to 0, or in this case 1. And that way you can start over in the world select. And when you click continue, it should take you here, but load all of your current progress. So the levels that you've unlocked will be unlocked still. And that will be pretty much that. And each level we add, we'll have to go into the world select and add another level. But the way you would usually do that is set up, go the way like Mario does, and have, say you have 10 levels per world, and then you would design those 10 levels and then go into the world select and set them up. So don't go, oh, this is going to have 3 worlds or 3 levels, and then go and design 10 levels and have to come back and add them in as you go along. Just do it all and then come back in and leave the world select for last. The world select is not important for testing. As long as you have it working the way it should, then you would be fine. So next time, what do? Do we make our menus a bit better? Do we continue polishing up the game, just doing a few things with the game, maybe not adding a lot more content, or maybe adding a few levels, but actually, making stuff work a bit better? I don't really know what that would be. Or do we, I don't know. We'll figure out something. But let me know in the comments below if you have anything specific you would like to see. Anything that you've come across that is breaking the game that I just have not noticed or haven't looked for, really. And a lot of the stuff that I do like this, I will miss a lot of the small stuff because I don't focus on it. I don't play the game that much. Only time I play the game is when you see me playing the game. So if I miss something, you'll know it because you'll see me not notice it. If that makes any sense. So thank you for watching, guys. Follow me on Twitter. Follow me on Google+. Subscribe to my YouTube channel if you like it, like this video. Now, sorry that I may have sounded a bit odd in this video, but I am just feeling like poop. So that's fine though. Guys, thank you for watching. Seriously, I really do appreciate it. I love the support this series is getting, and if you really like this series, make sure to let me know because it really does help. So thanks for watching, guys. My name is Austin, and I will see you next time.